welcome back, guys. We're here with another episode of the podcast. Today we're here with Ellie and Melly and with my boy Christopher. Ellie and Melly will be giving us their point of view on this topic today. And let's not forget, this is content for the creator, all right?
Amen.
And so what do you guys think about this? I mean, nowadays nobody's dating. Everybody's just hopping around like bees. Everybody's just doing their own thing. And they're like forgetting that God gave us a partner to build a relationship with that person and to serve him as well, right? But what do you guys take on that? What do you guys think about the relationship nowadays? People just going around to hook up and all that and not actually looking for that genuine connection.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in distractions. You know, I feel like, you know, you could be living for God, doing your thing, and then, you know, all of a sudden you just get a message from that person, or, you know, you're at a weak spot in your faith or whatever, and then you just, you know, download apps or whatever. Not saying there's anything wrong with the apps, but
be careful with them, right?
Yes, you do. Amen.
Definitely. That's such a sad thing that you see now. People are just hopping around, how you said, like as bees. It's crazy. Like people forget that was like a blessing that the Lord gave us for us to be able to actually share love and build from such a small thing to build onto marriage. People, that's something that have taken for granted, especially this generation have definitely taken that out the window.
Sure.
Big time.
And marriage is so beautiful. I don't know why some people would look at it and be like, well, I don't want to be stuck with that person for the rest of my life. But I feel like once you know that that's the person that God has placed in your path, I feel like it just becomes easier, you know, so and you want to be with that person for the rest of your life.
I feel
yeah, go ahead.
Like the hookup culture nowadays is like overwhelmed like all the youth, and essentially people are just like they're afraid to settle down with someone, and like they're afraid, okay, like what am I feeling, like is that genuine, and do I want to settle down with someone and just be like, okay, I think I'm ready to embrace this person, to embrace myself, and you know, that's something that it's right in God's eyes, and you know, for ourselves as well. So
and I think something that intensifies the hookup culture too is when we pay so much attention to the media, right? The media's everywhere, you know, wherever it is. I feel like, you know, left and right, whether they're Christian or they're not Christian, you're seeing these couples that, you know, they've been together 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and then all of a sudden divorce. The divorce happened, you know, where do you look to?
Or like even like you've seen people at church, maybe like they've been dating for like 10 years, let's say, and it's sort of like, where are you going? What are your plans? And, you know, it's gotten to the point you need to settle down. And the question is like, how do I do that? And how do I know that that's the right person to settle down with? Because, you know, it's something really serious. Like, it's literally your entire life. Because you can't just get married and then like, oh, I don't like you anymore, just quit 10 days after. It's not like that.
Not how this works.
You're definitely going to have to put up with that person for a very, very
long time. Because love is not just feelings, and that's something that's like really important. Love is not just feelings. It comes with it, but you can't base it on that because it won't get anywhere. So
it's patient and it's kind.
Going back to what you say there, Ellie, what are some qualities of love when it's actually real? You know what I'm saying? When you're actually into that person, what are some quality that would show that person is actually genuinely in love?
In love? Okay, so first of all, when you love someone, you care for them, and you would literally do anything to put their things first before yours. If you love somebody, you're always going to be there for them. And sometimes people think like, oh, you show love in a material way. That's something that girls, you know, we love when guys do that for us, but that's not the main thing in a way. So love can be shown in small things, in how a person treats you and how they sacrifice themselves for you. And that's something that's actually is beautiful. And spending time, it's like such a good thing that when someone gives you time and they show you that they value you, that's something that's...
It's such a small gesture.
It really is, and it means a lot.
It makes all the difference.
The small things matter, guys, out there. So if you have a woman out there and you think, well, I don't want to talk to her that day, maybe she wants to talk to you that day, and it's going to cause some problems. So definitely the little things matter.
Personal experience, Mike?
Sounds like
Nah, but that's just, the thing is that a lot of girls will be like, their argument on some other arguments in relationship is like, well, this guy doesn't grow up he doesn't open the door for me, or he doesn't pull the chair. And those are some things that as a man you don't have to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you just have to go and do it, and hoping them for them to notice, and oh, this guy's kind, and you know, it's just the small things that actually build up, and then you know what I'm saying, that's love. And another thing that is respecting your partner is very important. Respecting their decisions, basing your decisions around the relationship, what's better for the relationship and what can help the relationship grow. And another thing is that I had this conversation with one of my boys back there. He said, we was talking about, would you die for your wife?
Wow.
And listen.
Wait a minute.
And it got risky.
No, because
combo got hot.
in the Bible, in the Bible, it says you should love your wife as Christ did. He died for the church.
Exactly.
And I'm having this conversation with my friend. He was like, nah, bro, I don't know about that. I think I have to be with that person like at least 3 to 4 years. I'm like, no, I mean, I think that if it's genuine, if that's the person that God has placed in your life, you should take a bullet for that.
Because that was
person,
the
100%.
difference between, I feel like, in Christian marriage and like marriage outside like of the world. You actually, now when people are in the world, they date like 2 to 3 years, then they see if they're ready for marriage. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in Christian dating, it's like you go out there already with the plan. Like you talk to them normally, but once you guys get into dating, it's like, boom, my end plan is
it's the mindset,
purpose.
actually.
Exactly.
Purpose.
Yeah.
And during that process where you're trying to look for marriage and trying to get to marriage with this person, it's also important to be patient. I mean, let's be honest, guys.
Love
We're
is
humans
patient.
at the end of the day, but we have to be patient because it's something that was given to us from the Lord. Like, we have to respect that. And it's crazy, man. A lot of people take that for granted, and they don't know what comes with it, but that's just another thing. But I have a question for you guys,
Go
right?
for it.
How important is to have God in that relationship, in a relationship with your partner?
It's everything. That's a
100%.
non-negotiable.
Exactly. Non-negotiable.
Yeah, because nowadays it's like you tell, well, I want a Christian girl.
'Cause honestly-
like a Christian girl, and then they flee.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to have God in a relationship.
Because go for it.
And just speaking realistically from experience too, I think it's important to know that, you know, any time that you do, for whatever reason, fall into something that doesn't honor the Lord, because it happens, be able to, and again, this takes a lot of maturity, it takes a lot of growth. It's not an overnight process, but being able to just say, you know what, this needs to get cut.
Yeah.
It needs to get cut one way or the other. Have your community around you, have your pastor around you, whoever it is that holds you accountable, cut it.
Yeah.
That's a good point right there.
That is a good point, especially as us, like as boys. I feel like it's also very important. We see it all the time for like a guy, for their girl to be deep into Christianity and deep into around religion, because I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like I can't commit to a girl if I love her more than she loves God. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I feel like my end goal there, we would never, like, it wouldn't work in God's plan. You know what I'm saying? I would never, or I wouldn't fully devote myself to God. I wouldn't be able to just have whatever God has aligned with me in the future. If I'm devoting myself to someone that doesn't have like God as their center itself.
And you should always try to find love in a person that already knows Jesus.
Yeah, and then like the question comes, because if you're looking outside of the church for love, it's like, okay, am I actually ready to be dating someone, or am I just desperate for love? Like,
we have to look at that too.
It really is. It really is. Because when it comes to that, it's sort of like, okay, you know, I want to be in it. Like, you feel like you're ready to be with someone, and then you have to go with the mindset, okay, I want to find the one, but then it's sort of like you go with the mindset that you can't be playing around. Of course, you're going to have plenty of time to meet people and, you know, to see if you actually have a connection with them. But you have to do it de una manera sana. Because if you're just hopping around, you know, flowers, and you say, okay, let me try this and let me try that, it doesn't actually, you can't
And
have to respect, you know?
And it doesn't, when you do that, when you do just hop around and you know, just from relationship to relationship, from girl to girl, you don't feel that connection and that love that you're looking for. And that's the reason why you keep jumping back and forth to the.
Yes,
Talking of,
No, you go, Joe.
yeah, talking about that reminds us, our pastor on Friday, one of our youth, we had a similar like discussion about love and stuff like that, and he told us, well, he made a point. It was like, since God does everything the right way, if humans would have done like dating and everything as God's way, there would never have been STDs, or there would have been all these problems within things.
Say that.
Those are things created from messing around, hopping around from people, from other different persons. So if it would have been done as instructed, as the Bible told us, it would have been just sanity. Good.
Yeah, but we're hard-headed, man.
And like actually, like you're actually hurting yourself emotionally, and the other people too, because you have like so many feelings, so many emotions, and you don't understand yourself, like you don't understand the other person, and you know you're doing harm to others and yourself. So it's good to have that mindset. Am I ready to be in a relationship? And like, if I am ready, okay, so what are the steps that I have to take to do things right? And these are like the things that we're going to talk about today. So guys, what are some steps to initiate
Like a conversation with a girl, or you're talking about
like to initiate, okay, like now that I'm ready to date someone, how do I cómo voy y hago eso de la manera correcta?
Weigh in, fellas.
Okay.
So there you go.
The way I would do it personally, obviously I would go for a girl that's Christian, because that's
100%.
to me that's 100%.
Yes.
Like we have to, but no, I think I'll give her a little smile and be like, hey, what's up? No, I'm kidding. But I would definitely try to first build a friendship, because I feel like once you build a friendship and you already have that friendship going, there's no like how do you say this? There's no embarrassment of the things you say. There's no like guilt. There's no like shame. So you're free to just talk to that person. So yeah, making friends with that person is very important. After you make that step where you guys are already friends, you have to think about, now, is this person ready for a relationship, and am I ready for a relationship?
Yeah.
So that's another topic that I would bring up to the table. I'll talk to him like, hey, look, if you're ready and if you're ready, let's.
Yeah, and then something that comes with that, for you, like for any of you, how do you know that you're ready to date someone?
And circling around that question that you had, just to add a little bit, being ready for a relationship is so important, because I feel like if maybe you could be ready for a relationship, but if you're trying to be with a person that's not ready for a relationship, you're gonna hurt that person bad. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not expecting what you already have to offer to the table. You know what I'm saying? In some sense.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to just give that person time. And again, if it's not the person, and if you tried and it doesn't work, then
Let it go.
flee from it. I mean.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, Elizabeth, what was your question?
So like, when is the right time to date someone? Like, when do you know you're ready to date someone? And there are different ways. Like, when do you feel ready, like spiritually, and like in every area? Not every area, but like in most areas of your life. Like, how do you know that you're ready?
I feel like for me, I'm too much of an overthinker. So everything I start, I turn to God. I pray a lot, no matter what. I'm always praying. No matter the littlest thing, like I'd be like, oh, like this person did this to me. I'd be like, is it something? Is it a sign, God? You know, like, let me
Overthinkers
know.
United.
Yeah, it's always like, so yeah, for me, I just think about it a lot. I always ask my friends regarding everything. You know, I try to get little insiders from them and there.
I mean, for me at least,
leave it up to God every time.
For sure, bro.
Every time.
For me at least, I actually don't know how would I know, because the thing is, it's not something that you just know and you wake up knowing that you're ready for a relationship. I feel like you have to kind of find it along the way, like maybe as you talk to that person, hey, maybe that person could work out, and then after that, then you bring up the conversation and be like, hey, look, I think you're ready, I think I'm ready. Okay. Let's bring it up to the next step.
So one step at a time.
So I think my way to be ready is to literally take it one step at a time.
Okay.
I can't say like, oh, I'm ready, then just go full into the.
Like you start with a small circle and just start expanding.
Yeah, like normal. Like I'll be talking to her, oh, like friends, like friendship wise, and then just get to know each other. But I just can't sit down and say, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for a relationship,"
Yeah.
knowing that anything could happen in a relationship. I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen with her, what she's gonna think.
So like
What
adding,
she say, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, like add into that something that's like really important in life, and then something that I actually asked myself not too long ago, and I'm like, like, how do I know that I'm actually ready to date someone? And what I asked myself was like, Elizabeth, are you 100% in God? Like, is God your number one in your life? And like, yeah, like, that person, cause hear me out, cause when you like someone, like, let's face it, right now, all of us, when you like someone, they're like, oh my gosh, you wake up in the morning, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know when you're eating. Hey, I don't know, like, it's sort of like that, and then and you get so focused in that person in every like aspect of your life that it comes to a point, and I was like, Elizabeth, you really like this guy, you guys connect a lot, and it's something special. And it's sort of like, okay, is God my number one in my life? And is this person bringing me closer to God, or is that person, like taking me further away from God? So that's something that's like really, really important for me. Yeah, like that's something that, it clicked. Like, I know maybe, there are more aspects to it, but God is really important. And it's like, if someone is taking that away from me, then that's a no-go. And that's one thing, okay, I could do it with this person.
Yes,
Yeah.
queen, go. Okay. and I was gonna say too, I have a follow-up question for you guys as well. So assuming that again, you guys are friends or whatever, and you realize, okay, we both have God at the center of our lives, things are going well, we're good friends and everything. I think a lot of the question that a lot of young people are asking these days is how long for everything, right? And again,
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of goes hand in hand with like the whole one step at a time type
Yes,
of thing.
yes.
Is how long should we be friends? How long should we be engaged or courting, however you refer to it, right? And how long should blah blah blah, right? And I think that at least what I've observed over the years, you guys can weigh on this too, but in Christian circles versus people of the world and everything, we tend to, as I think you said it earlier, Chris, we tend to move a lot. Not too, I wouldn't say too fast, or hopefully not too fast, but in a sense where I feel
marriage,
like a lot
I
of us
get you,
kind of
yeah.
keep it under a year. So to anybody asking like, hey, how long should we be in this? How long should we be in that? All the stages. How would you respond to that?
I feel like I don't want to put a time on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like honestly, if we're being realistic here, I feel like a good 3 years. But I don't know, because even after 3 years, this is the thing is that, and I'm sorry to not answer your question real quick, but I just feel like throughout the years, it's just that it's gonna happen so many things with that person. Like you guys are gonna encounter problems, happy times, and all that. So I don't know. I feel like step by step, but if to answer your question, I think is a good 3 years, like a
Good
3
3
years
years.
solid of like just talking as friends would be a good time to be like, you know what, I think we've been talking as friends now for a long time. I think we should at least
Right.
label it or something.
Yes.
Hear me, I have
But,
something
yeah,
to
3
say. I
years.
have
Have
something
that
to say.
conversation. Okay? Have the conversation.
Definitely have the conversation.
have
See where your
some- what
partner
are we?
stands at.
Definitely, yes.
What do you think, Jiron? Do you think 3 years is
I mean,
good?
I definitely don't have any exact time manner on this. I think this is something like when it happens is like what stage am I at in my life? What
Yeah.
stage she at in her life? Like what are we both benefiting from this? Like moving forward, staying out where we're at. Because to that point, like I feel like we are both building with each other, so we just are figuring out like, okay, what's the best for us? How do we? Because I feel like the most important part, it wouldn't be a one-sided decision. This has to be a decision between both of you
Between both.
guys.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely,
Hey.
yes.
But I don't
We're
know. I
both
feel
having
like
the mutual feelings. You know what I'm saying?
But honestly, it's like, because it really depends on the two people, essentially.
Yeah.
Because for me, like speaking from experience, like let's say like, I don't know, I have life plans and I'm in school, right? And then the other person has school plans and everything, and then we're figuring out, okay, we both need to finish our studies, right? And then after that, it's sort of like, when we have to get into a place in life where we are comfortable with everything financially, and when we actually have the right time for each other. Because let's be honest, if you're in your like last year of college and you get married, it's gonna be complicated. Let's put it that way. You know, we're still young, but it comes to the point. Okay, we're friends, we like each other, but then we can't keep it too long, because when you love someone and you like someone, you're attracted.
You want to take it to the next
and
level,
you're
for sure.
attracted to them, and then that's when you have to be very, very, very careful, because a hug, a touch, and it's like, you know, and we're human, and in a way we have to be very careful with that. And then it comes to the point, okay, we want to make things more serious, and I feel like it all depends how ready are we. Because it's a team. Because when you're with someone, it's a team. You have to think of it that way. And it's like, how are we both? What stage are we in? And are we financially ready? Are we emotionally ready? Do we know each other enough? Because this is what my dad tells me, actually. Have you known that person enough to be willing to say, okay, I am ready to commit to you fully, knowing all the things that you have, knowing that when you wake up in the morning, you know,
your breath sting. Are you gonna? That's what I'm saying. Like, are you gonna
update status? It's complicated.
Yes, like knowing that, okay, you're grumpy when you wake up. Maybe you get hangry, or you know, like little things and bigger things. Like, am I willing to put those things aside and be like, okay, I'm full in, and I really want to commit to you. So you have to really know that person. And for some people, it takes 2 years. For some people, it takes a year. But then, again, you have to be really, really, really sure that you want to live with that person until you die. You know,
unpopular opinion, I think women are the most, not the most, but they're the ones that be like, oh, when are we going to, you know, call it a relationship? What are we? What are we? I feel like in men's point of view, we take longer, at least in my opinion, I think. I will do this. I will take longer, and I feel like most men will take longer to make that step, because as men, we don't just think about, obviously we think about the relationship of the person, but we also think about the money. You know what I'm saying? We have to maintain this girl and buy her things and do that. So I feel like as a man, for us, we take longer because we feel like we have to get situated to a point where if she wants something, if we need to, you know, buy something for her, or, you know, whatever it is to make that next step to even move out. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the money. So for us men, I feel like we tend to take a little bit longer to actually, you know what, let's decide.
And to be honest, I feel like that has a lot to do with how God designed us biologically, right? Like the basic differences between men and women, going back to the basics. I feel like you guys are more, how do I put it? As women, you know, we're the nurturers, right? What kids and everything. You guys are more rational, logical, factual. You know, you guys are leaders. True. You know, you're the head of the home in this case. So, again, you know,
we do carry a lot of weight, to be honest. Because once that marriage part comes and it's happily ever after, you should call it. But we have to keep working, man. I mean, bills are not gonna pay themselves, and that's something in our bag to think about. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we end up with a girl that's gonna go 50-50. Yeah, it's like nah. But yeah, hopefully we end up with someone that's willing to help in the future, because it does get very, very
and like
stressful.
when you get to that stage, like you ask yourself, am I happy, and like, is my partner happy? And then, like, what do you guys think about that? I don't know. Like, that's something that you have to, like,
is my partner happy? I feel like I'm trying to circle around your question, but I feel like you have to devote yourself to make your partner happy, because I feel like there's going to be so many things in life that's going to try to ruin your friendship. It could be friends, it could be problems, it could be financial problems. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to try to mess our relationship up. But I feel like once you have that, you know what I'm saying, that happiness and that joy in the relationship, you kind of could work through those things out. Like, you know what, well, we're here together. Let's lock in and do this together.
But I also feel like it is good to have those, like, oh, am I happy? Are they happy? Because sometimes you do start something and, like, thinking that you could, might both, like, be the perfect fit, and it doesn't fit at all, and it doesn't. So sometimes, like, asking that question, be like, oh, was this the right move, or was this, like, us doing this, was this the right, like,
thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
where the honesty and communication comes
Yeah,
in.
and that's where you see,
Exactly.
if it's not, like, you could put a stop to there before it turns into something bigger.
Yeah.
That's true. I have a question for you girls. What do you
Yes.
think? How do you recognize a man that you want to be with? Like, what qualities? Like, oh, that guy's Christian. Well, he treats me nice and all that. You know, just a little bit of topic here.
Okay, so I'll admit it. So when I was a lot younger, not too long ago, I actually made a list of qualities. Hear me out.
Oh man, she was one of them.
Yes, go girl. Go girl.
Yes, because like, hear me out. I made a list. I'm like, okay, the men, that I want for my life, the father of my kids. Like I was thinking that, I was like, okay, I'm envisioning it all the way. I was like, first, as we've been talking, God has to be number one, and then personally, she's more like a liking. But if a guy plays an instrument, I don't know. For me, that's just something. But then like qualities like their morals, their beliefs, that they align. Like what are they doing with their life? Like, are they sure of what they're doing? Are they a person that, okay, they're committing to something in their life, and are they working for it? Are they a hard worker? And other things. How are they with their mother? Hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah.
That's something that's like really important. Hear me out. Okay. That's something really. So if they're good to their mother, that's an example that I have, and then 100% I feel like they'll be good to me as well. And are they a kind person? Are they a loving person? Are they, do they go out and do they help the community? Like things like that.
Okay.
That were like for me it was like, okay, I mean,
Take notes, guys.
yeah.
Take notes, definitely.
I don't remember everything that I wrote on the list, but do we connect?
No, okay.
like,
That's a good answer. I like it. What about you, Ellie? What do you think?
Okay, so I would say, and again, this is me talking to myself here, right?
Yeah.
But does he listen well?
Ooh, yeah.
Does he listen well? Does he listen actively? How does he go about conflict? Again, talking to myself here. How does he handle, when things get rough and rocky between you two, you're in a disagreement, whatever. How does he respond to you? Right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So I think, again, over the years, those have kind of become some of the basics for me, I would
That's
say.
essential, yes.
But again, on a less serious note, of course, Jesus at the center, but
Yeah.
can you laugh together? How does
Definitely.
your sense of humor
That's
go
true.
together?
Yes.
Are you best friends?
Definitely, yeah.
Is
Like,
this
That's
your
so
best
important,
friend?
yeah.
Marry your best friend, or
Exactly.
don't get married.
a question,
What do you-
guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Coming back to that, how do you guys feel if you're dating someone and then if you're dating a girl and then they have a boy best friend? How do you feel about that?
Oh,
Going off
That's a-
topic.
that's a-
Going off
no,
topic.
going off topic,
but hear
I like
me
it, I
out.
like it, I like it.
Because I feel like a lot of youth, they're like, okay, how do
Got real in here.
Yes.
you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I know this is probably not a good look on a guy, but
Yes.
hear me out, like you said, hear me out.
Hear me out. Just hear me out. Yeah.
I'm a jealous guy,
Okay.
but not a jealous to the point where I'm gonna go crazy about it, and like those other men out there that would just, you know what I'm saying, cause the scene. No. I'm jealous. I keep it on the inside, but I don't know how I see that. A girl best friend. I mean, my girl with a best friend. No, I don't know. Because the thing is, if we're in a relationship, you're my best friend. You don't need to. I mean, if we're going as far as to say, you know what I'm saying? But if you're my girl, and you know what I'm saying, we spend time together and we do all these things together, why is there a need for a boy best friend? You need to talk about your problems. I'm here.
I agree.
You want something to eat? I'm here. You want to go out? I'm here. Why is your boy best friend there, part of the picture? Let's do.
Okay, but and now I have a follow-up question. So assuming the best friend or two in her life, whatever, assuming that there is no physical attraction there, that this isn't somebody that she would pursue for a reason because she's not attracted to them.
Oh, you got me there. I'll let you answer this one.
No, yeah,
Let me
'cause
think.
I
Chris?
feel like, for me, I don't really mind the best friend scenario, but maybe like if I allow it, and not if I allow it, but if she has a best friend, I see it that's carried on, that they're maybe I'll like, I'll put a stop to it. But for me, I don't think, because I have platonic friends, you know what I'm saying, that I'm like, oh, we wouldn't, no matter what. So I don't see why she wouldn't be able to have another.
That's true. But then again, like, you guys have to like understand us too. We're guys. So it's like, I don't know, guys think differently. Once the thing is, and I could say this from experience, like this had actually happened to me. Like this is no joke.
Story time, guys.
Well, to make it short, I had this girl, right, and she had this best friend, and I was friend with that guy too. So I'm like, oh, it should be fine. You know what I'm saying? We're cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where they were no longer besties. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where they were dating.
Yeah.
So it's like, at that point in my life, I thought that guy was my friend, and I knew that he wasn't gonna do something with that girl. And at that point, I thought that she was my girl, and that she wasn't gonna do that with that guy. So it's like, as a man, I don't know how would I feel with another guy trying to. Because the thing is, as a best friend, you kind of have to show it, bro. As a best friend, you go out and show your best friend. Friend, here's some cookies. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I have a funny story from one of those when we were all younger too. So me and Mike, right, we used to go on these retreats and camps.
Yeah.
Mike used to like this little girl from our church.
Oh man, don't bring this up.
Put him on the spot podcast.
We're on the spot. We're literally on the spot now.
So
okay,
Mike, we're there, and Mike, Mike had a little crush on that girl, but me and her, that's what I'm saying.
Bad, guys.
We was like best friend. And Mike did not talk to me for like a week,
It
bro.
got personal.
This guy didn't. He did not talk to me for like a week. Mike was pissed, and I was like, "Oh, Big Mike."
No, but it's not.
And so after that, I was like, "Yep, this guy is the jealous type." And it was for no reason too. This guy was.
The thing is, he probably didn't like the girl that I like, but as my friend, he liked to annoy me with some things and say some certain stuff. And you know me, I'll just believe some and then get mad about others, and it was with that type of thing. But me, naturally, I've always thought that if you're gonna have a friend, a guy best friend, I don't know, you're gonna have to talk to me about it first, like, because I feel like if there's some guy, some figure that's gonna provide for you is your husband, your man, your boyfriend. Of course,
yeah.
So why would you have to rely on your best friend? And at that point, I feel like once we talk about best friends, you're talking about someone that's gonna be there for you. A best friend is gonna talk to you, make you feel better. A best friend is gonna bring you up when you're down. Definitely. And I feel like as a man and as a boyfriend, that's your job. Why is there a second partner? I mean, you know what I'm saying, like a third party in that situation, But yeah, I personally, to answer your question, I don't know how would I feel about that.
Okay, so like adding to that, but like it's sort of like boundaries in a way. So how do you establish healthy boundaries in dating, both personally and like together with a couple?
How do you one more time?
So how do you establish healthy boundaries in dating, both personally and together as a couple, like with someone?
You want to take it away?
Definitely. So, healthy boundaries.
Yes.
I would definitely say just talking it out, see the other person's limits. You know what they're okay with, what they feel good with. Just don't go by, oh, this is my girlfriend, this is my significant other. They're okay with this. They're gonna be okay with whatever. You know what I'm saying? With everything that I like. No, they're their own person. They're their own. Yeah, their own person, their own soul, they have their own feelings. So you have to always take that into consideration, making sure that they're just always
and I feel also like communication daily is important because I feel like sometimes throughout the day, you go through so much, you don't want to talk about it sometimes. I feel like it's important to, go ask your partner or whatever it is, oh, hey, how's your day going? You know what I'm saying? Try to
break the ice.
You know what I'm saying? Get to know how that person, how their day was and all that, because it is important. I feel like once you've had a long day and you keep it to yourself, it kind of bothers you inside a little bit. So I think it is healthy as well to have a, to always try to sit down with that person and communicate, well, how was your day? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Melly, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, of course, assuming we're, of course, in a Christ-centered relationship, a lot of times, we're so used to going to God first about a lot of things. And we should be still going to God first, right, when things kind of go south for whatever reason. So, Yeah, I mean, of course, in this case, I mean, this is the person that, you hopefully plan to spend the rest of your life with. So
Yeah.
in that case, it's a balance really, because you're not just going to God now, you're also going to this person too. So that they, and the two shall become one flesh.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Amen.
There you go. So,
Any other questions on those timelines?
so one other question. So, what are your thoughts on maintaining physical and emotional purity in dating relationships, guys? Do I repeat it again or?
Repeat it
Okay,
again.
so here we go. What are your thoughts on maintaining physical and emotional purity in dating?
Purity and emotion. Okay. I don't know. That's a tough question.
I
Right?
feel like that one definitely relates to the previous one as to like your partner's health and everything, both you and your partner's health, just having that accountability for both of you guys, knowing that both of you guys are good, that it's just that both of you guys are okay with everything that's happening. And what was the other part of the question that you said?
So, what are your thoughts on maintaining physical, and emotional purity in a relationship?
I feel like you have to definitely. Wait, are we talking about like in marriage, or are we talking about just in like relationships?
No, like if you're, let's say that you meet a girl and you guys have been getting to know each other for a while, and you are together. Like no, you've been talking, you're getting to know each other, but you guys are going to take that step, and then eventually you take that step. So throughout all that process, how do you maintain yourself pure in God's eyes, emotionally and physically? Like, what are some good tips to keep yourself?
I would say to one of those tips would be definitely pray about everything. Pray about everything. Listens to your partner's opinion on things, to their point of views. When it's a no, is a no, and when it's a yes, we'll go for it. But definitely be mature about everything, because obviously it's two grown adults talking. You should be free and have that communication. But I think that would be my
And
answer.
definitely those people around you are great help.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I had tough times like that, I definitely turned to like a lot of our past youth leaders. They used to help me a lot. They always guided me. So definitely when you guys are going through something that you don't know, like if it's if it's God's way or God's plan, but if that's God's desire for you, definitely talk to someone like in your church that might be more experienced from you and could definitely help you guys out.
And I feel like just a little message out there to the public. I want you guys to be very patient. I mean, it's good. You're probably gonna be 25, 26. Well, when am I gonna get married? Where am I gonna?
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but I feel like everything takes its time, and most importantly, when it's God related, when God is in that relationship, you should just go with your life and let God do his thing. Trust God and trust God that he's gonna put that person in front of you, and he's gonna bring you that woman that you want.
Amen. I love
sure.
that. And I think on the note, Ellie, of what you're saying about, boundaries and things like that, I feel like we can't go through this episode without asking like the most famous one of the most commonly asked questions is especially with young people, how do you navigate the question of how far is too far? Like if somebody were to just come up and ask you that, how would you address it?
How far is too far?
Yeah. Like
In what sense though?
in either
physical
sense, either
aspect
physical,
or
emotional, whatever.
Yes.
Oh.
Especially physical.
Especially physical, yeah.
Oh man, that was you kind of froze my brain right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What was your question again? What was the question?
So how do you handle the question of how far is too far?
How
Yes.
far is too far?
Is it the wrong question to ask?
Honestly, it's not the
I
wrong
don't think
question
it's
to
not the
ask
wrong answer.
because
Yeah.
let's put it this way. If you like someone and you're very attracted to that person, right? Don't be alone with that person. If you're watching a movie, don't put a blanket over. It's just, it comes to the point that, let's say, okay, I'm going out with my date and we like each other. If we're going out to the movies, watch your hands. Watch your hands.
Yeah,
watch your hands. Because sometimes, because
No, it's true. It's
this
true.
is human. Because we can spiritualize everything, even though God is essential in our relationships. We can spiritualize everything because we are humans.
Yeah.
Like it's something that the flesh, but we can't deny that. And it comes to the point. It's like, okay, are we safe in this space? In the sense that if I put my hand closer to you, am I gonna make a mistake at the end? Like, as minutes go by, am I gonna make a mistake?
I mean,
Or-
you should know yourself too. You should know your
Yes,
yeah.
but
So
then
if you
again,
think
here's the thing: you think you know yourself till you get to that moment.
you get to
then
that
prevent the moment. Yeah, because
Temptation.
temptation. Because it's hear me out. When you like someone, temptation is
oh yeah, it's
at the
so
door.
easy
It's
to
always-
just
it's
grab
always
it.
like, it's knocking on you.
Say that.
Yeah.
So it's something that's like and hear me out. You're going out on a date, you want to be alone. Go out, I don't know, your best friend or your friend, they have another date and you're keeping each other in check. Or
That's true.
You're keeping each other in check. I don't know, you're going over to her house or he's going over to her house. She has a little brother. Have the little brother around. I don't know. Like if you're together,
Calling
don't
hermanitos.
yes. If you're alone in a place, don't go alone in a room. You
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen. And it's just like little things like that. And just go out in public spaces. We're going to the mall, going shopping or going out to the park. Try to have other eyes on you so you don't make small mistakes because you think I have the Holy Spirit in me. Nothing's gonna happen. Literally, nothing's gonna happen. But then you get to the point that temptation,
And you
like
fall
the
into it.
person, you
Yeah,
fall
for
into
sure.
it.
Like-
So try to,
And I'm gonna cut you girls a break, and I feel like that's mostly guys' fault. I feel like guys are more the ones that.
The honesty.
No, it is true. We're not gonna sit here and say, whoa, she made me do it. Never. No. You know what I'm saying? Like it's mostly the guys that would try to make that step. But I feel like as a man, we should be, especially if it's someone you like, because you want to be respectful to that person. You don't want to do things and you know what I'm saying, that you're not supposed to respect that person, obviously.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more on the guy side to definitely work on that. Boys out there, let's work on that.
Work on that. Not definitely, especially as a guy in this generation. Obviously, it's probably like the hardest thing to like keep yourself within like reaching those temptations. You know what I'm saying? Like not because right now it's something that's just shoved at you 24/7. Let's say you're driving, there's billboards of semi-naked.
yes,
Then
yes.
you open any social media app, you can't scroll 3 minutes past another semi-naked.
It's
woman.
For real. So I want,
yeah.
I want the camera to zoom in on me real quick. So, okay. Sé radical y no confíes en ti. Tienes que ser radical, porque si no eres radical, vas a llegar un momento that you're going to give in. So,
Yeah.
think of that. Have that in your mind.
And
There
don't
you go.
trust yourself, as I said earlier. Try to
Yes.
trust God more than yourself.
The heart is
100%.
deceitful. The heart
Yes,
is
it
deceitful.
really is.
Yep.
So, there's this Bible verse. It's in Mateo
can read it if you
5,
wanna have it right
29. Go for
Oh,
it. Yes.
prepared.
If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body to be thrown into hell.
There you
Wow.
go.
There you go, guys.
There you go.
So if your hands are making you do things that you don't want them, cut them off. If your eyes are making you look
cut
things
your-
that you
don't
don't
cut your
want
eye.
to, take them out. We're here to worship the Lord, all right?
Yes.
Come on.
Thing was, Jesus spoke in parables before, so
Yes.
he's literally speaking into like this generation or every generation to come. Like, if these things are causing you to sin, hey, cross them out of your life. If this girl is causing you to drift apart from me, cut her out of your life. If this
Exactly.
any little devices, throw it out of your life. And that's just something that's.
And I love how God just says that because it's true at the end of the day. I mean, if you don't have that person that doesn't have God in their lives, or you don't have that relationship where God is not in the center, I feel like everything is gonna go wrong. And I could tell you from experience. I mean, my sister, right now she's looking for the Lord, and I'm thankful for that.
Yes.
But before, when she started dating the person that it was trouble, man. I mean, it was arguing back and forth in front of the kids, and so it's just some things that when you have God in your life and then you have God in that relationship, things just go smoother.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you have God in your life, you have that freedom to sit down with your partner and be like, look, let's pray about this. You know what I'm saying? This has been
Yeah.
bothering me. Let's talk about this. And I feel like having God in a relationship
Yes.
and marriage is so very important. You don't know how.
Yes.
I feel like that should just be easy once God enters
I mean, I feel
that
like the
relationship.
examples are clear, and just in the world outside, you see all these non-Christian, not just non-Christian, but like out of order dating that
Dating,
people just
yes.
rush into things
Wow.
and always ends up like, well, you get the rare two that finish happily ever after, but
Yeah.
still,
So
like it's crazy.
Third
adding-
time saying this, love is patient.
Love is very
yes.
patient.
Definitely
So
is.
like adding to what Mike was saying, there's this Bible verse. It's 1 Timothy 4:16, and it says, "Give careful attention to your spiritual life and every cherished truth you teach. For living what you preach will release salvation inside of you and to all." So
That was deep.
That's a quick Bible verse to highlight right there.
yes,
You should definitely do that. And but yeah, man, I mean, relationship without God is chaotic and stressful, and you're gonna go through a lot of pain and a lot of trouble. But I feel like, and I'm not saying that once you have God in that relationship, everything is actually just
Yeah.
gonna go smooth and there's
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna be
not
any
what
problem.
that's
Definitely not what we're
that's
saying. You're
probably
still
when you might be tempted more.
Yeah, you're
outside of the world.
Yep.
inside of maybe your own church, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The temptations come from everywhere. That's maybe when you might have to trust in God the most.
yeah,
So yeah, that I was just like to what you were saying, Gio. I think is a very good thing to have God in,
yeah.
in
And
that
actually,
relationship.
I wrote down some questions to ask God. So one of them is my relationship in line with the plans you have for me in my life?
Good
That's
question.
something that like you should ask yourself. And another question that you should ask yourself, is our relationship progressing at the right pace that you want it to? And is there anything that I can do differently to help increase the quality of my spiritual life or spiritual growth? So those are some essential questions that you should ask God to, just keep on check. Okay, God, keep me on, go to God so he can keep you in check if things are going the right way or the wrong way. So that's,
Yeah, it's always to have that communication.
Yeah.
And but yeah, going back to what I was saying, just because you have Christ in that relationship, not everything is gonna just go smooth. There's obviously gonna be problems. There's gonna be arguments. There's gonna be disagreements. But I feel like the good part about having God in that relationship is that it's not gonna go to a point where it's gonna lead to a breakup, or it's never gonna lead to an argument where the person can settle it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like once you have God, you know when to sit down and be like, wait, something's not good. Let's talk about it.
Definitely, yeah.
So I feel like that's just very important out there. And again, to my people out there, guys, look for Christ. And if you really want a woman that's gonna be a good mom for your kid, that's gonna provide for you in the future, if you want a wife that's gonna be there for the long run, she has to have Jesus. I mean,
That's why you always have to make that decision beforehand. You can't just go into dating, oh, I'm gonna change this person, oh,
No.
I'm gonna turn all of this around. It's not working, bro.
The biggest
It's not gonna work.
mistake, the biggest mistake you can make in your life is that trying to go to a relationship and you can be like, oh, I can change him. He's this way,
You
I
can't.
can change that. It's gonna get to the point.
This doesn't build a man.
It really isn't. Like, it's gonna get to a year, and then you're like, I really can't do it anymore, and then you wasted your time, you wasted his time, you hurt yourself, and you hurt that person. So don't try to change someone. If there are things, no, like correct myself. I'm gonna correct myself. When you're with someone, there are things that can be worked on
Definitely.
and can be changed, but there are major things in your life, and it's like, okay, he smokes. I don't know, right? He's not a Christian, and you're trying to change that. If most likely it's not gonna happen. So don't try to go for something that you are 80% sure that it's not gonna work out, and you're trying to go for you just don't do it.
yeah, and to be honest, God is the only one that could actually have the
Change a
power to
person.
change that person to
Yes.
100%.
I love that.
You have to be, like it says in the Bible, equally yoked. No, is that what it says in the Bible? You have to be
Yes,
equally
yeah.
yoked with that
Yeah.
person, and that's just.
That's definitely something I believe in. You definitely have to be equally yoked because it won't work.
It won't work, honestly.
Because it's just your outcomes are always going to be different, will never add up. and you're just gonna be at two different stages of your life.
And it's from experience, guys. Like I've no, like honestly, no,
I
because
second
to be
that.
honest,
that.
I've dated a person outside of church, and it doesn't go well. Honestly, like.
It never lasts.
And and the communication is not there. Every little problem, they want to, let's break up. You know what I'm saying? So in a relationship that God's in it, there's never gonna be, well, you know what, I'm tired of this person, let me just leave. No, because you know what God wants for you. And especially if you know that it was sent by God, that's the woman you want, you're gonna have to do 20 things to fix it. You know what I'm saying?
You're fighting for each other.
Yeah.
Fighting from each other from the
and
start.
that's something that you're not gonna find in a relationship outside of the church or outside of Christ. I'm sorry, like you might get lucky and find a good girl out there that doesn't, or a good guy out there that doesn't know Christ, and hopefully you meet him sometime. But you might get lucky. But point is, out of Christ and out of the church, I honestly don't think that there's a healthy relationship.
Don't risk it.
Wow.
I feel like there's no actual genuine connection there.
No.
There's no
Light and darkness don't fellowship.
Yeah. You were gonna say something, Dia?
No, I said that I definitely agree with that. That it's never working out.
Yeah, guys. So you gotta put your foot on the ground.
Hear me out. If you are of God, right? You belong to God. What are you doing with someone that is of the world? Like, it's two opposite things. Like, like you really cannot put those things together. Because if you believe, like, if you're trying to date someone outside of the church, then there's something wrong. Because your beliefs, there's something wrong with that. Because what am I doing? I don't know, searching for someone that's in the world, because what they're looking for is completely different from what I'm looking for. Because I've heard of stories, there's this girl, and she liked the guy. You know, he was really, like, he wasn't Christian, but he was nice. And then eventually, he started slowly but surely influencing her more and taking her to the things that were not right in God's eyes, and that they just didn't go with her beliefs. And it's definitely complicated.
Yeah, that's definitely something that scares me. Even with this generation, I'm like, what if I don't find someone in the church? Like, that would scare me. Like, if one of my, let's say if my future girl isn't as close to me as God, that she would definitely drift me away from God. That's definitely something that scares me, just thinking that.
But I also feel like we also have to think about what's God's plan for us. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there's a story in the Bible about God telling the prophet to marry a prostitute, was it?
Yes. Yeah.
So you never know what God has intended for you. So I feel like it's just more about trusting God and definitely pray about everything. Pray about that relationship.
And don't get discouraged either, right? Because I think a lot of times we go through bad experiences with people in the church. You know, a lot of times you're going through people in the church and you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, people in church are worse than people in the world. And that's a sad reality. It really is, honestly. A lot of us have to go through and navigate. But again, if you put God first, you persist and you don't give up and you continue putting him first, eventually, seeking the kingdom of God first, and everything kind of falls into place. Eventually, when you're ready and God that person will somehow show up.
I think it's beautiful how in a relationship, if both parties are willing to look for the Lord and serve God, that's amazing. That's I really genuinely wish I had that, like a partner where I could grow in spiritually and in the church too. I mean, I would love to have that, but it's just that I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people in these days, like, they take relationship for granted. They just think as a game. And in my side, I think more of that relationship is a serious thing. I mean, I take it serious because once I make that step with that person, like I said earlier, it's gonna be for the rest of my life, man. I mean, we got like 80 years to live. You know what I'm saying? So I rather have what God has sent me. You know what I'm saying? So if God, let me not say that, but if God sends you an ugly girl with, you know what I'm saying? You have.
I can't.
But if that person is it has what I want. If she's seeking the Lord, and if her desire is to be with God and to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Please, give her my number. I mean, not because honestly. I don't want someone that's gonna draw me away from God. I don't want someone that's gonna make me regret being with that person. You know what I'm saying? or make me forget that there is a God, and make me forget that I am loved by a God. So
And-
definitely, whatever God has for me, I'm taking it. Whatever she looks like.
And remember, guys, as you're searching for someone in this crazy life,
Yes.
just especially as you're growing together, expect a real human being, right?
Oh, yes.
Because, and talking to myself here, right? A lot of us want this perfect person. Okay, the only person that's perfect is Jesus.
Amen.
The only perfect human that has ever lived in this life. So in that case, know your deal breakers. You know, don't be bound to the list. Like, know your preferences, but don't be bound to the list.
I agree with that.
And just
100%.
remember that nobody's perfect, and you have to pick your battles. Know what you're willing to tolerate, and this.
Yeah,
We all
and-
got stuff.
And sometimes, like, we do have that list, and it's like, okay, if I have that list, am I enough for that person that has that list? Because if I want a person with all these qualities, I need to have
You gotta
all
provide
these
those
qualities as
qualities back.
well.
Be the one.
Be the one.
Be
Hear
the
me
one.
out. Because like you can't be asking for all of this, and then when that person looks at you, I'm like, man,
That's hypocrite.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I have a
no,
question
I
for
can't
you,
work with
Ellie, though.
that.
Since you have this list of qualities.
I lost the list.
So let's say for example, some of the one, I don't know, maybe the guy you're talking to doesn't fit at least like 3 of those qualities. What's your take on that?
No, it's
70% match.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll settle here.
We're so, yeah.
Yeah. Wait. This is
No,
enough.
it's not like that because at that time, like I had set that list to remind myself what I was looking for, to not settle for less in a way. Because sometimes
Nice.
when I like someone, I might have been, I really like this aspect of this person, but then it was like, but then on this side, they're not as close to God as I like them to be. They're not this. And then it was sort of like a reminder, this is what I want for my life. This is what I want my future husband to be like. And sometimes it was just like, okay, I just don't want to settle for less than what I want. And it's like, okay, if the guy doesn't mean like 4 things, 5 things, that's okay. Like I can live with it. Like because no one's perfect. As she was saying, you have to remember that we're all human. We all have our flaws, and it was sort of like I want him to be a really good person.
And like, I don't know, that
yeah.
guy's not tall enough. I don't think I want that.
I don't mind. Hear me out. Height is not an issue.
They're true. Okay. Yeah.
It is, but it's not. I don't know.
Some of y'all be wanting 6'4", but that's none of my business.
You're
That's
4'11", I'm saying.
Man, those 5'8" kings out there, we got you, man. It's rough.
That's
Yes.
definitely is something. Because looking for the one out there is just, it's something you won't never find, until you learn. I feel like you definitely have to know God, have to know Jesus. He was the first one to show love, first one to love us. John 3:16, for God so loved the world.
There you
Gave
go.
his only begotten son for those who believe in him.
Him should not perish but have
But
And
have
that's real love.
That's,
Very
that's,
real
that's
love.
the
That is
only
real love.
actual love that was provided for us. And until you don't grasp that, you won't be able to provide that for your significant other, be able to fully devote yourself to them, you know what I'm saying, and nourish with them.
Yeah.
All right, so just to conclude this episode,
Yes.
give you what? How do I put this? What would be an advice that you would give to the public out there watching, like based on relationship? What would be something you would?
I mean,
Tell
I
them.
feel like I've definitely done or had my share of the not dating in like God's manner or God's order, and I feel like that's just not like a way to go. You know what I'm saying? Not better than what an actual relationship in Christ is or in Jesus is, like growing in with the church. And I just don't think you guys should waste your time, energy, or another person's energy if you guys aren't gonna love a person, right?
Don't play with them.
Yeah, don't play with their
Don't play
feelings,
with their
man. Those
feelings.
hurt.
And something short before taking it to the long run and ending a person's feeling.
Yeah, I
Hurting a person's
definitely.
feelings.
My take on that would be definitely say, guys, be patient. It's gonna take time. There's gonna be ups and downs, but God got you, man. I mean, if God had Eve for Adam, I think He has a girl for you.
Come on.
Well, Adam was doing God's work when
That's
God
another
provided
thing.
him.
That's another thing.
Yes.
He wasn't looking for Eve's around the garden. He was
Yeah.
doing the Lord's work when God provided him with Eve. He
And I
wasn't
didn't
out
tell-
here
yeah.
just searching for multiple Eves. Out there.
Multiple.
Yes.
But definitely, yeah, be patient,
Patient.
be sober minded, you know what I'm saying? Be respectful. And yeah, man, if you have that person already, or if you're looking for that person, just remember that. Quick advice, just must have Christ in that relationship. I can't guarantee it that it's not gonna flourish as well without him, but with him it's gonna be so much better. So definitely look for Jesus, look for salvation. And Ellie and Melly, what do you guys think? What's your quick advice for the public?
Stay like you guys said, stay busy fulfilling your purpose. Okay,
Yes.
stay busy, and I think that let's end off with the title of this episode, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
stop. There comes a time where you just have to stop scrolling, stop swiping, whether that's left or that's right. Okay, stop scrolling, stop swiping, and just look up.
Look up.
Look up.
Just look
Look
turn
at the
to
Lord.
God.
Yes.
What about you,
So
Ellie?
as she was saying, I gotta keep it going. So essentially, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're in the right place, you're gonna find that girl, that boy, your future husband, your future wife, in the right place. Just do what God is telling you to do. Grow closer to Him, and
Let her
who
cook.
knows? Yo,
Let her cook.
that girl in your church that
the
you're
Holy
thinking
Spirit
about,
cook her.
that might be it. Hear me out.
Let her cook. Okay.
So just keep your eyes on God, and you'll find it. Honestly, it might be in your close circle. You never know. It might
never
be.
know.
You never know. When you go to camp next time, you know.
I mean, do
Keep
you,
your eyes
Right
open
there,
for the
hear me
camp
out.
that's coming up.
I mean,
Hello.
do you girls get that like constant? What's it called? Like that constant rush on Sunday mornings, like from all your elders, like yo,
Yeah,
when
our
is that
church,
significant
man.
other coming around?
It's full with those people, the old
It's
people.
they don't miss.
¿Y la novia? ¿Dónde
Honestly,
está? ¿Y la novia?
don't let pressure like get you messed up.
Yeah.
Don't let pressure
Yeah,
get
take
you
it
messed
step
up.
at a
Step
step
at a
at a
time.
step, yeah.
Because everything comes at the right moment. Believe it or not, like when you're ready for something, it's gonna work out.
Y mejor solos que mal acompañados.
Mal
Exacto.
acompañado.
There you go.
And in conclusion, guys, sadly, this is the end of our episode. But we're always glad to sit here and talk to you guys and
Yes.
have
Definitely.
good conversation. And hopefully we get to reach some of y'all in different ways, and that you guys make a
Hopefully,
decision.
some of you guys take these advices, man. We tell y'all
Yes.
from
Yeah, we-
personal experience,
Yes.
God is definitely the right way into dating. It's the safest and healthiest way.
Healthiest.
and
100%.
healthiest way to do it.
And we're always
So-
here for you.
I wish you
Yeah,
luck.
spot.
We'll be praying for you guys. For those who haven't found love, I'll be praying for myself as well. But we'll be praying for you guys. And thank you guys for having us today. Hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.